last hour, halftime of the week. I'll get you going for baseball later on. See what time we're getting on today. It's always good to know what time you get on for that. 6:30 first pitch, 6 o'clock airtime. I'm getting over to the ballpark early today so that I can warm Bubba's seat up for him. It's been way too long since I last shared a radio booth with Bubba Carpenter. And the moment he walks in, you know what I'm going to give him?
A big hug.
No, I'm going to give him a Joey, how you doing?
Give us your best one right now, right quick before we get that.
That wasn't it.
Because if that was it, that was horrible.
How you doing?
Oh, we could do better than that.
No, I'm not going to give you more practice.
You know what he would probably like if you put like a whoopee cushion in his seat. He'd probably get a kick out of that.
What's to say he already doesn't sound like a whoopee cushion in the seat to begin with?
Whoa!
He's the human whoopee cushion.
Moving right on to Nate Olson. Nate, you get a chance to break up the monotony of the silliness here. Nate,
how you
of
doing?
course.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
How you doing?
There you go. That's a better one than I had, Nate.
That was great.
Why don't you answer your own question?
That's my Razor Ramon. How you doing?
Razor. See, Nate, they don't understand Razor Ramon. They don't know what you just said with Razor Ramon.
I know who that is. I know he's a wrestler.
I knew
that.
SmackDown to pick it up.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it.
How about that?
I knew the name. I just didn't know that it had anything to do with how you doing. That's right. Yeah, high school football usually doesn't get much talk in May. Certainly not on this show. But this is, this is. Is it okay to say that this was expected? It's just it still kind of hit you in a way. You didn't know where he was going to end up coaching, but wasn't it? Didn't it feel like a foregone conclusion that at some point Kevin Kelley was going to test college football?
Man, every year I think is somebody going to take a chance. Is it going to be a good opportunity for him? Will he take it? Are they going to offer? 17 years, and over the last few years, it really, with winning that many championships, every year I expected it. But this blindsided me because it's May, but, they made a hire, or they fired their coach because they played spring football and fired him after that season. So that's why there's an opening right now. But I think a lot of people, yes, people expected this to happen. I don't think they expect it to happen in May of 2021 with the circumstance, everything that's going on in the world and the timing of it. I think everybody was like, whoa. But certainly I always thought he'd be a college coach, and now here he is.
Here he is. And certainly he's going to be running a team that is also playing in a league that's different than other leagues. It's going to be a non-scholarship league.
Yeah.
So it seems to me, and the thing about Kevin Kelley is that inside the state here, he's known by his name. Outside the state of Arkansas, he's known as the coach who never punts, the coach who always does the onside kick. But really, like those two things about him, he's much more than just that. So outside of that, what is it about Coach Kevin Kelley that makes him such a dynamic football coach?
Well, he's one of the smartest people I've ever met. I mean, and I'm not talking about smartest football coach. I'm talking just about one of the smartest people. People don't know that, Kevin got his start, his initial career was in accounting. He didn't play football. He's from Glenwood. And, he kind of has talked about he had sort of a tough childhood and went to Henderson State and, ended up coaching football, but his first job, he was doing accounting work and stuff, then got into coaching. So that's where all the numbers, the analytics, he's a numbers guy. He's a former accountant, but he's super smart. And, I'd count him on one of the top, 5 or 10 smarter people that I've met in different walks of life and different professions. He could do a lot of things. He could be in business. He could do a lot of stuff. And I think that helps him as a football coach, because he sees things differently than other football coaches. And so that's why I think that sets him apart. And I think it's a brilliant move going to the Pioneer League, because if you took a FCS job, let's just say, like in the Missouri Valley Conference, one of their worst teams in Illinois State, or I'm not sure how good they're doing, but somebody like that, that's not a level playing field when you're talking about playing Northern Iowa and you're talking about playing North Dakota State. That's not level. But This, I think, is a level playing field. You are almost like being at Pulaski Academy still, with no scholarships to offer. It's a situation that he's familiar with. It's a conference that has San Diego, which is kind of weird the way the geography goes. You've got Drake in the middle of the country and Butler in the middle of the country. Then you have San Diego. Then you've got some of these southern schools. The headquarters is in St. Louis. But San Diego's won the last couple of championships, and Dayton is a perennial power in it, but they haven't won one for a while. So he looks at that and he says, yeah, I'm considered a Division I coach. Everybody's saying Division I, but this is a different kind of Division I league, and it's a lot more similar to where he's come from. And I think he has analyzed that and decided that this is a good situation for him to come in, win right away, make a splash. And he's already got, today or yesterday, ESPN, Yahoo, everybody, it's like the lead story there because not much is going on. And so, he knows if he wins there, that media attention is going to continue. And incidentally, Kansas hires, Lance Leopold from Buffalo. I don't think it hardly made a ripple, That was who Andy Staples said that Kansas should hire as Kevin. And I think it's interesting that gets a little bit of media attention, but Kevin's hired by Presbyterian, and everybody's covering it.
Nate Olson joining us here on Halftime. Nate, we were talking earlier on the show with this news breaking, and obviously I think a lot of people think he's going to bring obviously the no-huddle style, the no punting, the always onside kicking. But I was reading an article on Saturday Down South, and it was mentioned in there that's how he statistically found out that he could win the most high school games. That was what success was on the high school level. How much of this style, how much of his strategy do you think he'll bring to Presbyterian and in the Pioneer League? Do you think he'll go all the way, or do you think he'll do what's best fitted to win him the most games in this league?
That's a good question, and that's what somebody's going to ask him today. I'm pretty sure at 2:00 when they introduce him, because I think people around the country want to see how that would work in college. I think everybody's rooting to see that. That's a tough question. And what you just said, I prefaced it at the end saying what you'd have to do to win this league. That's what you think he would do.
Right.
What's going to win in this league? But I think, I just told you about this league and how different it is. That kind of style probably could work in this league, because you're not talking about North Dakota State or UCA. You're talking about San Diego, Dayton. Yes, they've been good in that league, but, they're not it's probably more on par with what he's seen in high school football, I would think. And I followed the Pioneer League a little bit with Drake when I lived there, and in Iowa, and it really is a different situation. So, I think it could work there, and he might go full bore with it, and he may dial it back a little bit. I think it kind of depends, but I think, with him, and he knows this, you have to go in there, I think right away, committed, either you're going to do it or you're not. I think it would be kind of tough if you go in and then you dial stuff back. I think that, obviously Robert Acunto, the AD there, who incidentally was also, in the UTEP athletic department. So he comes from a Division I athletic director office. They've talked about that. And I think Acunto probably brought him in to do that. I think he wants to shake things up. He's a new AD, hasn't been there very long. I would imagine they've talked about it, and it would not surprise me if they just do things a lot the same way they're doing them now.
Well, Nate, you mentioned just how smart Kevin Kelley is, and like him or not, there's some people that loves to play, and I love the way he plays. But as a BB Badger myself, I'm kind of glad that he's gone. That maybe we can bring Pulaski Academy back to reality a little bit. But all that aside, he's smart, and like you said, he's going to do what wins him games. Let's assume, for the sake of this question here, that it all goes well, and he sets the world of college football on fire. How long do you think before a upper tier FCS school or maybe a lower tier FBS school starts calling to bring that play style into maybe the Sun Belt or like you said, Missouri Valley Conference, so a bigger division than what he's getting into right now? How long do you think before those calls start coming in?
Well, I tweeted yesterday that in 3 years I think he'll be at a major college, and it could be as an offensive coordinator. I think surely that a lot of coaches are just we're waiting for him to get a college position. You've got guys like Rhett Lashley, who's an offensive coordinator at Miami now. What if he gets a head coaching job next year? He and Kevin are on the same wavelength in a lot of things offensively. Would he try to bring him in as an offensive coordinator? I think the answer is probably yes. He's probably on the list. I know they know each other well, obviously, and have some of the same philosophies offensively. So that's an option. And if he does really well, I could see, definitely a program bringing him in, and it could be, in the group of five, not the Power Five, the other group, in that realm, like you said, the Sun Belt or somebody as the head coach. I think it's interesting. I kind of looked at Hugh Freeze's history and his trouble at Ole Miss notwithstanding. This could be a same trajectory. He was at the successful high school coach in Briarcrest in Memphis. That's not the right name. The private school there that he was at. Had great success. Was at Ole Miss, I think, as a position coach. Then went to Lambeth College in Jackson, Tennessee. Then gets the OC job at Arkansas State. Then is the head coach at Arkansas State after 1 year when Gus leaves. Then he's at Ole Miss. I could see something like that with Kevin. I mean, the parallels between him and Freeze are very similar because when you look at the sort of private school that they had success with, in high school, and then how and Lambeth College is an NAIA school. It probably isn't on the same level as Presbyterian as far as the kind of national acclaim you can get, and being a Division I FCS member or FCS member. I like to go back to 1AA. I like that better. But anyway, I see a real parallel there. I could see it happening that way.
Hopefully he's not full of crap the same way that Hugh Freeze is full of crap.
Well,
and I know that he's not because I had it.
And you don't want him to get trouble like Freeze did, but I'm talking about the early trajectory, before it could happen that way. I really believe it.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out. It'll be a very interesting ride, and it's actually happening very soon because college football season just ended for Presbyterian, and it's going to be starting in just a few months. Nate, we got to run. Appreciate you, man. Thanks. It's good to talk to you again.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, good talking to you guys. Take care.
You got it. That's Nate Olson, and we have Nate on every Friday during football season because he is a high school football guru to the wazoo. Hey, if you've always wanted a powered automatic gate at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, you probably know if you listen. It's the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Talking about custom wrought iron installation, automatic gates, controlled access systems, security installations, cameras, lots more. They also have 18-month same-as-cash financing for your custom fence and gate needs. The Fence Man at 479-782-3936. The Fence Man ain't afraid of no work. Switching into Arkansas, Georgia baseball, the weekend coming up. We've got some thoughts on Kevin Kopps and the Arkansas lineup. And then we're talking with Jeff Dench. They're the UGA radio voice. So don't go anywhere.